Hi, I'm Miko and I've been working from home for over 3 years now, and in this video I will show you what I did to upgrade my workstation by setting up a treadmill desk so I can walk while I work. This video is divided into 3 parts. First, I'll review the FlexiSpot standing desk and then the Xiaomi Kingsmith treadmill next. Each review will include an unboxing and assembly, discussion of the specifications, weight, height, price, and how to operate and use these products. Then I will do some of my personally crafted tests to check their stability, noise level, weight capacity, and speed. I will also explain some nifty features like the collision detection feature of the standing desk. Finally, I will end the video with a summary of the pros and cons to help you decide if these products are a fit for you. Just a disclaimer that this is not a sponsored review and I purchased these items with my own money because I wanted a better working environment. So first we have the FlexiSpot E3R, which is an electric height adjustable standing desk with dual motors. It's just basically a table that with a press of a button, you can adjust its height so that you can use it while sitting, standing, or walking. Let's start with the unboxing. The table comes in 2 separate boxes. The first box contains the supporting beams, the electric motor legs, and the control panel, while the second box is the tabletop itself. You can also just purchase the legs and just use your own tabletop as long as it's within the correct dimensions, which is quite standard. The box comes with all the different kinds of screws that you'll need as well as an Allen key. But you will be needing a standard crosshead screwdriver for this. Spoiler alert, it took us almost 2 hours to completely assemble the desk. Alternatively, you can opt to have it assembled by the supplier for an additional fee. The power cable is long enough even on the highest height table setting. We attach the remaining length under the table since we're using a nearby power outlet anyway. The heaviest part of the table are the motor legs with a total weight of 30 kilograms. I bought the largest tabletop which in itself weighs another 20 kilograms. The color options for the table legs are white, black, and gray, while for the tabletop they have black, white, oak, and mahogany. Each table leg has a separate motor and expands into 3 parts, which should help in terms of the general stability of the table. The tabletop has round corners which I like for safety purposes. The FlexiSpot E3R currently retails for a discounted price of 22,400 pesos. If you're planning to buy, please use my Lazada or Shopee affiliate links in the description down below. I will appreciate it. The operation is quite straightforward. You simply have to press and hold the arrow buttons or use the memory buttons on the control panel. This panel can be attached on either side of the table depending on your preference. The table's height range is from 64.5 centimeters all the way to 130 centimeters high. I found that the lowest setting suits my sitting position, feet flat on the floor and elbows bent at around a 90-degree angle. Meanwhile, with my height, a 95 centimeter setting suits well for an ergonomic standing position. Later, when walking on a treadmill, I compensate for the additional treadmill height by using 100 centimeters as a table height setting. These 3 settings can be saved in the 3 memory buttons for a quick height adjustment. This is also useful if there is more than one user of the table with different statures. The table's reported maximum capacity is 100 kilograms. I figured that what better way to test it than using my own body weight. The external monitor and my own weight is roughly 2/3 of the advertised max capacity, so it should be more than enough for a desktop and a couple of laptops. The higher the table is, the less stable it becomes. At the lowest height, it's as stable as any conventional 4-legged table. But I found that at around the height of 100 centimeters is when it starts to wobble when pushed forward. Take note that the side-to-side motion is completely stable. It's just the front-to-back movement that you have to be careful of. At the maximum height of 130 centimeters, I would personally not trust it with a heavy and fragile load. Thankfully, I'm not a 6-footer, so its stability works for my own use cases. It takes around 20 seconds for the table legs to fully expand from the lowest to the topmost height, with the same amount of time the other way around. When I tested it with a heavier load, my own body weight that is, there was an additional 5-second delay. When adjusting the table height, the sound meter app that I used recorded a range of 50 to 60 decibels, which is equivalent to the noise level of an electric toothbrush. Now let's proceed to some of this table's cool features. First, we have the collision detection. When you left your office chair under the table, it will discontinue descending upon colliding with the chair or any other object below. It also works the other way around. When something above is blocking the table from rising, it will stop to prevent any damage to the table or the object above. Another nifty feature is a built-in timer that will alert you if you've been sitting or standing for a while and may want to switch. This is useful if you really want to commit to a habit of not sitting for too long. Just note that changing the table height will reset the timer. You can turn it on by pressing the A button. The timer range is from 1 to 99 minutes, which can be adjusted through the up and down buttons. To turn it off, simply hold the A button. There are other brands of standing desks that also ship locally, such as Stance and Rakk. I chose FlexiSpot because it's the most affordable option given the set of features that I wanted. Also, it was what can be shipped as soon as possible since the other brands were out of stock. The other kinds of standing desks, even under the FlexiSpot brand, include the single motor desk and the manual hand crank operated table. Another cheaper option is a desk converter that you can place on top of your current table. Again, if you're planning to buy any of those products, please do so using my Shopee and Lazada links in the description below. Hi, welcome to the second part of this video, the unboxing of Xiaomi Kingsmith K12. This is basically a treadmill without the bulky head unit console and complicated control buttons of a conventional treadmill that we see in fitness gyms. It is ideal for home use because it is portable and can easily be stored when not in use. More importantly, at least for the purpose of this video, we can slide it below our standing desk for a treadmill desk setup. But first, let's review this treadmill in its own right. The treadmill weighs 33 kilograms and can support any person below 120 kilos. Because of its weight, it can be difficult for a single person to lift it directly. It has small built-in wheels which are great if you're moving the treadmill from room to room, but can be less useful if you are in a cramped place like a small room. For storage, you can conveniently slip it under your bed or sofa. It can also be stored vertically while leaning against the wall, with an anti-skid strip on one end to prevent it from sliding down. Its dimensions are 150 by 80 centimeters. The treadmill is slightly inclined and elevated from the floor, supported by 4 corner stands. The power switch can be found beside the power cord, and upon turning on the switch, the display panel will light up. M stands for the manual mode to distinguish it from the automatic mode, which we will explain later. To start the treadmill, we will need to use the AAA battery-powered remote control or the KS Fit mobile app. The Xiaomi Kingsmith K12 treadmill currently retails for 18,900 pesos. Again, if you're planning to buy, please do so using my Shopee and Lazada links that you can find in the description below. The treadmill can run from 0.8 kilometers per hour up to 12 kilometers per hour. The speed can be controlled using the remote control or the app. For speeds above 6 kph, which is considered the running mode, the handrail needs to be lifted up. The top of the handrail has a small bracket where you can place your mobile phone or tablet. Unfortunately, the remote control is too thick to fit in this compartment. The treadmill will also automatically detect if there is no longer a person using it and will eventually stop and go into standby mode. There is some space between the main treadmill board and the ground, so there isn't much noise coming from friction with the floor below, unlike in walking pads such as A1 or R1. The noise mainly comes from the treadmill motor and the action of your feet hitting the treadmill. The sound meter app only recorded a noise level above 70 decibels when the treadmill reached running speed. The KS Fit mobile app connects to the treadmill via Bluetooth and lets you control its speed and see the activity's live statistics, including distance, time, steps, and its history. The app also syncs these exercise records with Google Fit and Apple Health, which is quite handy for data geeks like myself. Similar to conventional treadmills, it features a security lanyard that can be clipped to your clothing in one end and attached to the treadmill handrail in the other. In case of a fall or an accident, when the safety lock is pulled, the treadmill will immediately stop. So automatic. Then there's the automatic mode. I haven't really used this function much, but in this mode, the treadmill automatically adjusts its speed depending on your running or walking pace. To toggle this mode, simply press the bottom button in the remote control or the letter A in the app. If you will use the treadmill exclusively for the standing desk, I would recommend that you get the Xiaomi A1 Pro walking pad instead, which is less expensive, more compact, and can be folded in half for easier storage. The main difference is that it can only reach up to 6 kilometers per hour of speed, while the K12 is really built for running with a max speed of 12 kph. I chose the K12 model because I wanted to use it in some running workouts too. If you want something in the middle, the Xiaomi R1 Pro is both foldable and fast enough with 10 kph as its top speed. Just note that unlike the K12, these walking pads lay flat directly on the floor, so purchasing a rubber mat may prove wise to avoid floor damage and reduce the noise from friction. Of course, there are other brands as well, but I found them to be either too expensive or cheap but unreliable. Another option is to use a stationary bike desk if you just want some form of leg movement while working. If you're interested in any of the products that I mentioned, please click the Lazada or Shopee link in this video's description. I've been using this new workspace setup for 2 months now, and I can confidently say that it was worth the investment. It was a huge upgrade from my old home office setup, and I hope to continue using it over the coming years. With a treadmill desk, I can reach my daily step goal more easily while also getting my work done. Using the keyboard and mouse while walking takes some effort and time to be comfortable with, so I settled with the slowest speed setting when I started at 0.8 kilometers per hour. I also discovered that if my hands or arms are resting on the table, it gives me more stability while walking so I don't accidentally trip or lose my balance. After using the treadmill desk for some time and getting used to the rhythm of my steps, I sometimes forget that I am actually walking. After walking for 2 hours, my legs and feet begin to tense up even with the speed set at a slow setting. I figured that I am unlikely to spend all my working hours walking, and even if I could, it may be unhealthy to do so. The better thing to do is to alternate sitting, standing, and walking. Switching between the three also helps me avoid bad posture caused by staying in the same position for an extended amount of time. The treadmill desk is especially useful during long online meetings because I rarely need to use my keyboard so I can increase the speed to a brisk walk. I just remain mindful of the noise from the treadmill in case I need to talk and enable my microphone. No, that's all from my side. Thank you. Bye. One relevant concern when walking while working is comfort, particularly sweating. The solution is to have good ventilation, keep the room cool, and moderate the walking pace. Having a huge monitor definitely helps in terms of focusing on the screen and reading small texts from websites. In addition, I increased the font size of the browser for easier reading. Aside from the work tasks, I also enjoyed using the treadmill desk while watching YouTube and Netflix videos. If you are into computer games, you can also use it for those. If you want to set the speed above 6 kilometers per hour, you may need to pull the treadmill away from under the standing desk since the handrail should be folded up at that speed. But be careful of eye fatigue from the vertical oscillation of your body since your head and eyes will be bouncing up and down while running. Another tip is to use a dedicated pair of shoes for the treadmill to avoid bringing in dirt and mud from outdoors. One of my biggest problems before was post-meal drowsiness. I would always feel sleepy after taking my lunch and dinner and find it hard to focus when I resume working. The treadmill desk solved this problem. It is simply quite difficult to get sleepy while walking. Just a word of caution, walking or running right after a meal may affect and hasten your bowel movement. Lastly, I always remind myself that the treadmill desk should not replace my exercise routines. It is meant as a supplementary physical activity something to just keep myself from being stationary while working. But if someone is planning to transition from a completely sedentary lifestyle, then a treadmill desk can be a good start. To recap, here's a summary of the pros and cons that we mentioned. Please keep them in mind before doing your purchase. That ends the video. If you have any questions or clarifications, ask away in the comment section. And if you decided to set up your own treadmill desk because of this review, please share it with us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day and see you in the next video.